Water is essential to all living things, and Lyndon, Washington gets plenty of it. 40 to 50 inches of rain per year. The timing of the water, too much in spring, not enough in summer, is bringing conservationists and farmers together to solve the problem.
I'm Greg Eby, a seed potato grower. I'm actually a third generation seed potato grower. The issue becomes in the summer months. We're getting less rainfall and there's much more demand for the water. With crop irrigation, people are outside and more active and using more water, but also it's a critical time for salmon. Salmon are returning to spawn, so there needs to be adequate flow in our streams also for salmon and other wildlife.
For right now, we're looking at these beautiful baby reds. So what was the change that you made to them?
We're probably watering less now than with some of our overhead methods with drip irrigation, and maintaining optimum moisture rather than irrigating and having it too wet, cycle too dry.
Farmers are collaborating with their local conservation districts to learn more about how they can improve their water use for their farms and for the salmon.
I'm Annika Sweeney, the Education and Outreach Coordinator for Whatcom Conservation District, and we are standing on the side of Fish Trap Creek right now in the city of Lyndon. Over the last 5 years, we've increased the amount of farmers that are using our programs and services by 20-fold. We used to have just a handful of farmers come in, and now we have hundreds a year that are seeing us as a resource, seeing us as a trusted source of information, and recognizing that the research that we do and the farm planning that we do is really vital.
A lot's being done on salmon restoration. We're planting buffers and developing riparian zones, converting from surface water, which has a direct impact to our streams, to groundwater, moving to more efficient methods of irrigation.
Greg says one of the changes farmers made was beginning to move away from the primary method of overhead sprinklers to underground drip irrigation. Oh yeah, look at that. I imagine though there's got to be challenges that might prevent people from doing this though, right?
Yeah, it's pretty labor intensive getting it all set up. It is much more expensive cost per acre, but we hope to recover that in yield and quality.
One example of how farmers and conservation districts are working together is by applying new technology to old floodgates.
They were exactly that. They were to keep floods out. They were primarily closed and really prevent any fish passage back and forth. So now with this new technology, they're mostly open, and then there's a float system on it that triggers them to close so that if a flood were to come, it would be protecting that upstream habitat. And that is like brilliant technology that is really going to be a huge change in the Nooksack River ecosystem.
I wholly believe that agriculture is the most compatible land use for salmon recovery.
Our farmlands are the vital part of salmon habitat restoration. And as we look to the future, the preservation of large tracts of land along our critical creeks, like agriculture, is going to be vital.